I already made a video on the complete debacle of Flat Earth debate between Pastor Greg Locke and Pastor Dean Odle. And I have serious issues with all the individuals that showed up, part of the so-called Flat Earth community, as you see here. The Flat Earth brother Josh, and he's being recorded by Wimpy Weiss. And anybody that showed up to this thing that's part of the so-called Flat Earth community, I'm not trusting. Here you see Josh. Once again, it's a couple issues here in regards to his defense of Pastor Greg Locke. Coming to his defense in his recent video on his channel about attending, again, this complete debacle, the so-called Flat Earth debate, which again is nothing more than a pantomime. Let's get right to this clip and hear what Josh has to say about Pastor Greg Locke.
Me personally, I would love to reach out to Pastor Greg Locke if there was any way someone can share these thoughts with him, because he's someone that I understood right away when I saw his challenge where he was coming from. And it's hard for a lot of people to relate to his anger if you've never been someone that's put yourself out there in the spotlight and received hate.
So this man here, you're coming to his defense. Clearly a Freemason, like I pointed out in my previous video. You see the Masonic hand sign. I mentioned how his name is 33 numerology, but I just don't work off one piece of information to come to conclusions. Obviously, the Masonic diamond sign. Diamond is 33. Just take a look at his logo for his church itself, as you see here. Global Vision Bible Church. You have the obvious G, and you also have the square of the square and the compass, as you see here. Again, signs and symbols. I harp on this point. This is how these people operate. And getting back to the G itself, I pointed this out in previous videos. The G, when it comes down to it, the alphabet, A through Z, 1 through 26, when you have the G and you flip over the alphabet, you land on 33 once again. So everything, once again, is coded when it comes to Freemasonry in plain sight. Not just that, just take a look here. Talking about signs and symbols, take a look at this shirt he wears during the so-called debate. He knows there's going to be many eyes on him. He selects his shirt to wear. We all know what this shirt means, this symbol. Again, all in plain sight. And Dean Odle being good friends with Greg Locke. They attended the same Skyfall conference as speakers, as you see here, in a very Masonic type of pose with Greg Locke. Like I mentioned in my previous video, Dean Odle is 33 numerology, just like Greg Locke. And you don't hear Dean Odle calling out Greg Locke, who's an obvious Freemason, while they both have that 33 name in numerology. And again, getting back to Josh, Flat Earth Brothers, coming to Greg Locke's defense, it doesn't look good, to say the least. Very poor discernment, not being able to see through all this stuff I've shown, specifically things like this. When it comes down to it with Greg Locke and all these Masons, from famous Freemason Walter Scott, oh, what a tangled web we weave when we first practice to deceive. And that's exactly what you have here with Greg Locke. Getting back to Josh, very poor discernment, again coming to the defense of Greg Locke. Now, another issue I have with Josh, where he reads from the book of Enoch and quotes from the book of Enoch stating, these three animals that God created, again, the elephant, as your little tiny baby elephant here, beautiful creatures, are basically demonic half-breeds. Unbelievable, and again, to me it's blasphemy that Josh would even consider that. And I'm going to play that clip with Josh, but I want to show these animals. Do any of you out there believe these are satanic half-breeds that cross with a cow and fallen angels? Give me a break. All Satan can do is steal, plagiarize, take from what God created. Owls are amazing, beautiful creatures that God created. And again, these Satanists steal and take. Look at that owl. You think that's an evil creature just because the satanic Masons use it as their symbol? Do you think these little goats are evil? Absolutely not. But they take again and use it as symbolism, and it's passed on to many people in truth as something bad, and that's very unfortunate. Let's play that clip with Josh, his own narration, reading from the book of Enoch. And again, to me, like I said earlier, this is complete blasphemy, talking about God's beautiful creations being demonic half-breeds. Let's take a listen.
So you have Enoch's vision, and I'm just going to read starting at verse 3, and he says, "And again I saw in the vision, and looked at the heavens, and behold, I saw many stars, and they fell from heaven, and were thrown from heaven near the first star," because one star already fell, the leader of the fallen. This is about the fallen angels here. "And among those cattle and bullocks there they were, with them, pasturing among them, and I looked at them, and behold, they all let out their members," I'm not going to say the other word so we don't get flagged or anything, "like horses, and began to mount the cows and bullocks. And these all became pregnant, and brought forth elephants, and camels, and asses." These are the three races of giants it talks about at the beginning of Enoch, the Nephilim. And now we have all three of these Nephilim who they know who they are in this book.
So again, Josh believes these are the fallen ones, or the crossbreed with the fallen ones. Absolutely not. A lot of people in truth talk about the book of Enoch. I would stay awake. And Josh defending Greg Locke, who's an obvious Mason. So I want to hear your response to that with everything I've shown with his logos. Again, signs and symbols. They talk about it in their own writings. It's undeniable. It's right in your face. And again, to me, it comes down to it's not just Greg Locke. It's your pushing of God's, again, beautiful creations, as these are supposed satanic half-breeds, which to me, again, is blasphemy. I mentioned that, and I hammer the point with that. No way. These are some type of offspring of the fallen ones with cows. Absolutely not. Again, this is the work of Satan trying to steal, plagiarize God's beautiful creatures. Defending Greg Locke, who's an obvious Mason. So I want to hear your response to that with everything I've shown with his logos. Again, signs and symbols. They talk about it in their own writings. It's undeniable. It's right in your face. And again, to me, it comes down to it's not just Greg Locke. It's your pushing of God's, again, beautiful creations, as these are supposed satanic half-breeds, which to me, again, is blasphemy. I mentioned that, and I hammer the point with that. No way. These are some type of offspring of the fallen ones with cows. Absolutely not. Again, this is the work of Satan trying to steal, plagiarize God's beautiful creatures.
John chapter 9, verse 25. Whereas once I was blind, now I can see. Now I can see. Now I can see.